Yeah. So we already discussed, right, guys? So, Jaipur communication. Okay. Yeah. So we already discussed, right, Ajay? So initially we are discussing Linux only. So initially the Linux basic commands will be discussed for you guys. Then after I will take one on you for the advanced topic. Okay, Ajay?
Oh, okay, Hari, fine.
Yeah. 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 So what we will discuss today, we'll discuss about the what is OS. Second one is types of OSs. So third one is types of hardware also. Units system. Mm, what is CLA? Services. Services. Subject between CLA and GO. The seven families. What is the open source and commercial. So we discuss about the commercial and commercial and so we'll discuss guys. We'll discuss types of flavors of Linux operating system. Flavors of Linux operating system. Then which OS is going to lab? Which Linux OS is going to lab in this language? This question. And we don't identify the say in the here. Okay, so we'll discuss these guys. So what is OS? Does anyone knows what is OS? Guys, what is the meaning of OS? Ajay, Ashok,
Yeah,
Karimullah,
it is operating system, so it is software which runs on hardware.
software.
Which runs on hardware.
Very good. So what is a software which runs on hardware is nothing but a OS, operating system. Right? I will tell you. This. So this is a OS, right? OS. What is a OS? Is? So does anyone knows what is OS? So, so Ajay said like that OS is nothing but a software which runs on hardware is nothing but a OS. Right? The is the yeah, guys. So what is this? This is the OS. So what this is, guys? Which laptops are you using, guys? Which laptops are you using?
HP.
Guys, which laptops are you using? Vijay, Ajay, which laptop are you using?
HP.
HP.
Yeah.
For example, is using HP laptop. Right. So for example, in the HP laptop, so why you installed the OS? So this is our HP hardware, right? So this is our HP hardware. So in the HP hardware, you install the OS, right? So hardware knows which language. Hardware knows which language. Binary language. So binary means zeros and ones, right? So binary means zeros and ones, and user knows which language, guys. How you are speaking with how you are interacting with this hardware. How you are interacting with your lappy. So you are interacting with Lappy through English only, right? So user knows only. So user knows only English language, right? User knows only English language. You know only which language? You know only English language, right? You know only English language. Yeah, yeah. So computer. What this is? HP is a computer. Computer knows which language, guys? Computer knows only binary language and the user knows only English language. So computer knows binary means zeros and ones. User knows English means so user knows English language. So hardware knows only binary language. User knows only English language. So user doesn't know the user doesn't know the binary language. The same way, hardware doesn't know the English language. Is they able to communicate with each other? Is they able to communicate with each other? No, right? Because of so hardware knows only binary language, user knows only English language, right? So we need a mediator to communicate with our hardware. We need a mediator to communicate with our hardware, right, guys? So who is the mediator? Mediator is the OS, right? Mediator is the OS, for example, guys. So this is Ajay. So this is Shiva, right? This is Ajay and this is Shiva. Shiva knows only Telugu language. Ajay knows only English language or Hindi language, right? So this guy knows only Telugu language. Telugu language. This guy knows only Hindi language. So are you able to communicate with each other? No. So because of so Ajay doesn't know the Telugu language and Shiva doesn't know the Hindi language. So who need, guys, here? Who need? Who knows the both the languages? That guy need. Who is that guy? Hari is the guy. Hari knows both the languages, right? So here, who is the mediator, guys? Guys, here who is the mediator? Hari is the mediator. Who is that? Hari is the mediator who knows both the languages. So whatever Shiva conveyed, right? Conveyed to the Hari, Hari translated into the Hindi and informed to the Shiva. The same like vice versa. So whatever Ajay convey to the you want to convey to the Shiva. So he informed like in the Hindi, I will translate it and I will translate to Telugu and I will inform to the Shiva. Guys, now you understood? So here, what is the OS is a mediator. What is that? OS is a mediator which knows both the language. So knows both the languages, right? Both languages. So right, for example, whatever they give it as a something like in English. So OS took that one and convert as a binary language. So convert as a binary language. How they can convert? They convert like that. So 101010. Right. So 101010. This is the binary format. The same vice versa. So whatever computer gave it to the OS will translate and will convey to the user. Guys, now you understood? Just a simple meaning of a OS. What is the simple meaning of a OS, guys? It's a mediator between user and the computer. Is nothing but. Guys, understood? Guys, now you understood? So what is the simple meaning of OS, guys? Guys, speak out, guys. What is a OS?
mediator between user and computer.
It's a mediator between user and computer is nothing but a OS. Right? Now you understood. Then types of OS. So what are the types of OSs? Types of OSs. So how many types of OS we have? Guys, so in your laptop, how many users will connect at a time? Guys, in your laptop, how many users will connect at a time? So you are using which laptop, guys?
Yeah, it will be
Dell
one.
Latitude, Dell Latitude, for example. So this is a Dell Latitude or HP. Ajay, you are using HP.
Yes, HP
Which
Pavilion.
model? Latitude, Elite Book,
No, HP Pavilion.
HP Pavilion. So he is using HP Pavilion laptop. This is the laptop, or else something like a Lenovo laptop. Guys, in this laptop, how many users can connect at a time? So how many users can connect at a time, guys, in this laptop? How many users?
One user.
One.
Yes, very good. So how many users? Only one user. Single user operating system. What is this? So this is a single user. What this is? This is a single user operating system. The same like as a, so we have a two types of operating systems. So one is single user operating system, other one is multi-user operating system. So single user operating system means we can connect only one people at a time and work with one people at a time. So multi-user operating system is nothing but we can connect multiple people at a time and so we can connect the multiple people at a time. Right. So what are the OSs we are using for the single user operating system? So what are the OSs are using? Guys, in our laptop, which OS is installed? Windows 11, Windows 10, either Windows 8, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows XP. Right. So these all are the single user operating system. So these operating systems. So we'll connect only one user at a time. Guys, who developed the and so the hardware companies also designed two types of hardware. So one is for single user operating system, other one is for multi-user operating systems also. So what are those single user operating system hardwares? The hardwares are something like okay. So what are the hardwares? So Dell Latitude, Dell Latitude, HP, Lenovo, Asus, compact. So these all are the single user supported hardwares. Guys, who developed Windows operating system? So does anyone knows who developed the Windows operating system? Guys, Ajay,
Yes,
you
yes,
are
it
more
was
hands on.
Microsoft. Yes, it was Microsoft.
Yeah, very good. So Microsoft company developed the Windows operating system. So Microsoft company created two types of operating system. So one is for single user operating system and so another one is for multi-user operating system. Okay. So Microsoft created two types of operating systems. One is for single user operating system. The other one is for multi-user operating system. So what are the multi-user operating systems? So what are the multi-user operating systems? So for example, that I don't know. So I'm assuming Windows Server 2018, Windows Server 2000, 2008, these are the Linux, Linux OS. Guys, so we have so Microsoft created two types of operating system. One is for single user operating system and the multi-user operating system. So Linux is supported for only multi-user operating system. So Linux is developed for the multi-user operating system. Now you understood the so which hardwares are using in the Windows operating system. So single user operating system. So which hardwares are using for the multi-user operating system. So which hardwares? Dell Coverage. So Dell Coverage R710. All these servers are so these are the multi-user operating systems. You guys now understood. So these all are the multi-user operating systems. HP ProLine. So HP ProLine missions. These all are the hardware server hardware. You guys understood. The multi-user operating system will be deployed under installed under this server. For example, this is the multi-user operating system installed here. Okay, so what this is now you understand. So where you install the multi-user, so Linux is the a multi-user operating system. So some companies are provided two types of hardware. So one is single user operating system, other one is multi-user operating system. So there are created two types of hardware for single user and multi-user. Okay, so some companies are created only for multi-user operating system purpose. So the voice is also same. So some voices are created for the multi-user operating system. Some companies are created only for the single user operating system or both single and multi-user operating system. So Linux is popular for the multi-user operating system. So Linux OS is popular for the multi-user operating system. Guys, so Microsoft OS is what is that? Microsoft OS is GUI OS. Which OS, guys? All Microsoft products are GUI only. So what is that? All Microsoft products are GUI only. But Linux, So Linux is a CLI. What is that, guys? So Linux is a CLI operating system. CLI OS. Linux is the CLI operating system. So what is the difference between CLI and CLI and GUI? Guys, what is the difference between GUI and CLI?
So
So now you
in
understood the types of OSs, types of hardwares. So what is the Linux? I will tell you this. Okay. Yeah, what is the difference between GUI and CLI? So GUI means graphical user interface, graphical user interface like Windows. So like Windows. So Windows are the GUI. So the OS is developed with the help of images like minimize maximize okay, so you can minimize max. It will be very easy to user friendly GUI. So CLI, what is CLI, guys? CLI is nothing but a command line interface. So how you can interact with the OS? How you can interact with the how you can interact with the OS through command only. Through commands only. So and it is a portable. So because of so we don't need images to develop the OS. Just alphabets, right? It's a portable. So Linux is a CLI OS. So Linux is a CLI OS. So why Linux is popular? Linux is popular because of highly secure, portable, and open source. So what is that? Highly secure, portable, and open source. Right? Understood, guys? Yeah, so Linux now you understood. Linux is used for the multi-user operating system. Your application in the real time, your application will be deployed under this server only. Your website, facebook.com, whatsapp.com will be deployed. So, but why we need OS? Definitely, how you can interact with this hardware? You can interact with this hardware through OS only. You can interact with this hardware through voice only. Guys, here I forgot one thing. So, guys, which mobiles are you using? Guys, which mobile phones are you using? Guys,
it's
speak out, guys.
yes, it is OnePlus.
OnePlus. So, in OnePlus is the hardware, right?
Yeah,
OnePlus is the hardware. In OnePlus, which OS is installed?
it's Android
In the
16.
OnePlus, sorry?
It's Android 16.
Yes, Android. Android OS is installed. So what is Android? Android is a OS. Android is a OS. Android is a bare metal software. What is that? Android is a bare metal software. What is bare metal? What is a bare metal? Underlying of OS. Underlying of OS. Yeah. So what this is? Here you installed the new OS. If you want to interact with this hardware, right? Definitely what we need, definitely we need a OS. If you want to interact with this hardware, you want to interact this hardware, definitely we need a, so this is you. If you want to interact with this hardware, right? Definitely we need a OS. So here, which OS is installed? Right. So for example, Linux OS is installed. Which OS? Linux OS is installed. So Linux OS is installed. So in your mobile phone there are apps, right? There are apps. So these apps are designed to which Android. So these apps are designed with the Android. So that's the reason they combined with the Android software. They combined with the Android software, Android software and your OS combining as and released as a OS and Linux OS. It is called as a bare metal software. It is called as a bare metal software. Guys, understood?
Yes,
Yeah,
Karima.
yeah. So, which Wi-Fi are you using guys in our home or anywhere? Which Wi-Fi are you using? For example, which Wi-Fi are you using? Guys, which Wi-Fi are you using in
It's
our
Geo.
home? Hmm?
Geo.
Geo. Okay. So Geo provided the router, right?
Yes,
Yeah. So that router is a hardware or a software.
it is hardware.
It is a hardware. Again here. So you are interacting with this hardware because of you changed the Wi-Fi username and password, right, Ajay?
Yes,
So you how you are interacting with this hardware? This is the hardware, right? This is a purely a geo router hardware. So how you change your username, Wi-Fi username and password. So if you want to interact with any hardware, if you want to with this hardware, definitely we need a OS. So if you want to interact with this mobile, definitely we need a OS, right? If you want to interact with this hardware, definitely we need a OS. So if you want to interact with this hardware, definitely what we need? We need a OS. So Linux, a small Linux OS is installed. Then the reason we are able to interacting with this entire hardware. Guys, so from now onwards, so you guys remember what you remember. If you are interacting with any hardware, if it is a video game or a mobile or a laptop or a computer or something like a server, whatever it may be, or a router, if you are interacting with that hardware, definitely there will be a OS is installed. Definitely there will be a OS is installed. Now you understood?
yes, Karima.
Yeah, very good. So now you understood. So Linux OS. So Linux is a popular for the server OS, multi-user OS. So multi-user OS. Why Linux is popular? Because of portable, guys. Why Linux is portable? Because of portable. It is a portable and secure and CLI. So it's a CLI and another point also is. What is that? The other point is, what is that, guys? Open store. I think so. You guys know open source. You guys know open source, right? So, what is the open source, guys? What is it? Open source. What is the open source, guys?
Yeah, it is free software available. So using that software, we can develop our own flavors, voice flavors.
Yeah, very good. So, open source is nothing but a free of cost. What is that? First point is free of cost. Second point is source code also available. So if source code available. So for example, you have a Facebook code. Yeah, I have the Facebook. What is that? I have a Facebook code. For example, I Facebook code, right? So do I need to develop again? No, no need to develop again. What you can do? So you can use that code and we create another website website, right? You will create another website. What that website? For example, I'm creating a book face is the website. What is that, guys? So I don't want to develop the code. I use the same code and I rename the wherever the Facebook is, right? I rename it a book face and I release it as a book face, right? So source code also available. If the code is available, you can use that code and so you can create our own customize. You can create our own OSs. Is understood? So what is open source? And the so Windows are the commercial. Windows are a commercial. Is understood? Yeah. So what is the difference between open source and commercial? So open source is nothing but a free of cost and source code also available. So commercial is nothing but a so before using the software we need to buy it. So before using we need to buy the software. Windows all products are commercial. Okay. So it released as a open source. Released as a open source. So who developed the Linux? Microsoft developed the Windows. Who developed the Linux, guys? Who developed the Linux? I will tell. In 1991, who is Linus? Linus Torvald. So Linus Torvald, he is studying in one of the university, and his mentor is asking to create a OS, and he created the OS called as a Minix OS. Which OS? So Minix OS. But so this OS is created based on the Unix OS. This OS is created based on the Unix OS. But this OS having some drawbacks. What is this? This OS having some drawbacks. So that's the reason. So he overcome those drawbacks and he created a new OS. He created a new OS and he is thinking to put the new name for this OS. Then he released and he took the what is that? There is no OS, right? So he's trying to install a new OS. Then we need to create a I need to put the new name for this OS. So he overcome those drawbacks, right? Whatever the drawbacks, right? Those drawbacks he overcome and created a new OS. Created a new OS. So that OS name, how OS name comes. So what is his name, guys? Linus. He took the first four letters from his name and the last letter from Unix. So right. So he took first four letters from his name and last letter from Unix. Then he created a voice called as a then he created a voice called as a which voice, guys? Which voice? The voice name is
Linux.
yeah, Linux. Just now you understood how Linux came into the picture? Yeah, he released as a open source. Who is Linus Torvald? So who created? So Linus Torvald created the OS, created the OS Linux OS. So first four letters from his name and the last letter from Linux. Then Linux came into the picture. The Linux came into the picture and he released as a open source. He released as a open source. Right? Now you understood. He released as a open source. So he released as a open source. Then so took the same source code. Who is that? Took that source code. He released as an open source, right? Took the source code. Companies took the source code. For example, IBM company took the source code and created their own OS called as a AX Linux OS. The same way, Sun Microsystems. Because that Sun Microsystems took that source code and created their own OS called as a Solaris. Okay. HP company took that source code and created their own OS called as a UX Linux OS. The same way, Oracle company also took that source code and created their own OS called as a Oracle Linux OS. The same way, Amazon company also. Which one? Amazon company also took that source code and created their own OS called as a Amazon Linux 2023. Amazon Linux 2. Okay. So Red Hat INC. Is that Red Hat company took that source code and created three types of OSs. So one is Fedora, the second one is CentOS, the third one is Red Hat. So the same like TPN. IBM companies took the source code and created their own OS called as a the same like as a SUSE Linux, FreeBSD, FreeBSD Linux, Kali Linux. What? FreeBSD Linux, Kali Linux. Department responsibility. Hello? Hello? Sorry, yes. So took that source code, created their own voice to Rocky Linux, right? So, but in this course, so what we will discuss, so we will discuss about the these voices. So what is that? So mainly we are focusing on CentOS, but if you know the CentOS, the same commands will be executing on the Red Hat, CentOS, Fedora, Oracle, Amazon Linux, Amazon Linux, or it will be easy to understand the other Linux OSs also. But the naming convention should be different, but the core function should be same. Okay, it will be very easy. So in this course, what we will discuss about the CentOS. The CentOS, right? So which Linux OS we are using, guys? CentOS, Red Hat. So for example, the version started from 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what is the current version of the Red Hat and CentOS? 9. Okay. So what we will install on this hardware? So we will install on this hardware on which OS, guys? So which Linux OS? Guys, speak out. Which OS, which Linux OS we are installing? CentOS, Linux OS. Guys, do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
I
understood.
understood. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So tomorrow, so we will install CentOS 9 Linux OS on this hardware. I will show you. Okay. Guys, understood?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Yep. Thank you.